Okay. All right, I can see that. Okay, so Black Panther 2 then, right? That's where we're at?
This is the only thing I need from the Black Panther 2 movie.
Okay. Wait, is Black
My
Panther
boy
2
Namor.
coming out before or after Ant-Man? Before, right?
Before.
Huh. So we're getting Namor. Probably not getting Doom.
Mm, It could be. It could be that they are doing like the War of Kings with three kings,
Yeah, I
like
would like
Black
it.
Panther, Namor. I would like it too, but it has like 1% chance of happening.
It feels weird to have Doctor Doom come in and not have Fantastic Four being connected to him already.
Yeah, indeed.
Unless for some reason he doesn't age. And like if they're in the quantum realm, he's been on Earth and like they establish his roots to them in the movie or something. Maybe they could do
Yeah,
that.
but they can. Yeah, but they can do it like maybe Doctor Doom already also got sucked into the quantum realm, but he found his way out. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
just yeah,
If they do that, then they'd have to have a scene at least showing that.
yeah.
Which then that would be the first instance of explaining
It will be Doctor Doom will be very difficult to introduce, of course. But yeah, that's just his character. His character is just so yeah, his character is just difficult to introduce.
yeah.
That's the way his character is written.
Mr. Otter saying, or maybe it's none of that. And Black Panther and Kevin Marvel are my least favorite. And give me that's fair, man. You're due to your opinions, man. That's totally fine. I
What
disagree, but that's all right.
what
I
did he
have a
say? I
question.
didn't.
Oh, he likes Captain Marvel, or he doesn't like Captain Marvel and Black Panther that much. But Endgame is his favorite, which is fine. And then Mr. Otter says maybe it's none of that. I actually have a question for you, so I'm curious. I feel like sometimes um, there's this like within the community of theorizing and like hearing rumors, and there's like all these leaks. Like sometimes like things that are theories start getting like
Mhm.
deep into our brains, where we think like that's the only way this movie could happen. So Mr. Otter makes a good point. I mean, like we've been talking so heavily on on Black Panther being this like Namor and Black Panther, but there's a total realm of possibility that it could not be that.
Yeah, I know, and I will be very. I will be very. I I know I just said that we don't have to be angry if John Krasinski wouldn't get cast as Mr. Fantastic or Charlie Cox
Mhm.
didn't return as Daredevil, but I would throw my windows. I would throw things out of my windows if Namor isn't in Black Panther 2. I mean, he's my favorite character. I have been
Yeah.
wanting him for so many years now. If he doesn't, if he's not introduced in Black Panther 2, then I just know that he will never get to the MCU. I know that for sure. But I
He,
think we had that reference in Iron Man 2. Then we had that Easter egg from the other underwater earthquakes and Endgame. Then we will have like Atlantis maybe showing up in the Eternals. I mean, it has to happen.
right.
And
Now
Black Panther 2 is the obvious.
now for me, I feel like the specifically the I think Shang-Chi if it does well, but mainly Black Panther and Captain Marvel. I think their
Mhm.
third installment in the trilogy is going to happen very soon. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
so I think we're going to get the end of Phase 4 and I think Phase 5 in the beginning or like somewhat in the middle. I think they're going to be very intentional about giving both Black Panther and Captain Marvel their third installment in Phase 5. Okay?
Hmm.
So
I think that too.
because like they had to take a long time because they were building to the final event and they needed to do that. So they took their time getting to the next one. But I think they're gonna. I think now that they've ramped up, once they get to this point, they're gonna be able to put things out faster. They're gonna prioritize those. So hear me out. What if Namor isn't the villain in Black Panther 2? Okay,
Yeah.
because they want to do the War of Kings, right? But with the three of them. So what if the reason they don't do it is because they want to build Doom up and Namor separately? They want to get Doom in here, but they need to do Fantastic Four first. So they wait. They have Namor in an end credit scene in Black Panther 2, but they focus on just a different conflict, like him coming back to Wakanda after 5 years and having to establish himself, something like that instead. And then they really, they make sure to really bring in Namor with his actual actor into the scene. They show Atlantis, but then they also and that way after, they bring Doom in, they can have that conflict happen. And then maybe even to the point where Doom is established as, maybe even to the point where Namor and Black Panther have to team up against Doom at some point or something like that. Or, Doom tricks both of them into fighting or something like that.
If Namor isn't the villain of Black Panther 2, I'm thinking it will be M'Baku again.
Yeah.
M'Baku, M'Baku in the comics, don't you?
Yeah.
He's like the man-ape, and they cut that man-ape character because it was a little racist. But that's maybe like who I am, but I don't get what's racist about that character. You don't have to call him man-ape, but you can have him wearing that gorilla outfit.
Right.
I don't like him because he gets his powers from this albino gorilla who has a mutation, and he eats the gorilla and then he becomes the man-ape.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I'm not opposed to that. Not that I can really speak to it, but my big thing is I don't think they will, just because M'Baku seems to be on T'Challa's side at the end of it. In fact, I know that they have their rules. I know that they have their rules of leadership and how it should work, but I think that the MCU is going to break that rule because of the snap. So I think I think that 5-year period, I think his mother and sister have been running it. I don't think that they replaced him.
Yeah, his sister was also snapped. So. Yeah.
Oh right, I think it's gonna be then maybe the mother and maybe just the mother and Okoye. Yeah, I think probably that's what happened. Even though the first movie kind of established, I honestly don't think they're gonna do it. I think they're just gonna be it was fine. Okoye is running it. Sorry about that. Also, he says, I think people still look too much into water earthquake thing. I mean, natural disasters are still a thing. The MCU writers of Endgame said that it wasn't intentional a year ago.
But yesterday, or was it 2 days ago, that they had the Endgame rewatch party.
Who did?
Sorry, you fell away.
Who did?
Yeah, they had this Endgame watch party. That was what's his name again? Brandon Davis or so, comicbook.com.
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
Yes, yeah. So they have these watch parties, and then they had the screenwriters of Avengers Endgame commenting about the movie while people were watching the movie, and they got this question was it a Namor reference? And their response was, sometimes you make an Easter egg, and then it's the director of the next movie. He gets to choose if he wants to use that Easter egg or he doesn't.
Right.
So I think that Easter egg got put in there so here we laid the ground for Namor to happen.
Right.
But if you don't want it to happen, just don't do it and never talk about it again.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing about it is in Mr. Otter, I think you could, if you watch back, you have to think about all the times that these movies, there were random references that that didn't need to be Easter eggs. And then they chose to later make them Easter eggs. And so I think your point is totally right. And the MCU, it's specifically true to the MCU that they really are we're going to throw things in there all the time that absolutely don't need to be anything, but
Indeed.
They can be something. And then that's what adds value. And I think a lot of the value for fans that go back and watch the MCU is those Easter eggs that were paid off later for those common rewatch for the fans. And I'm not saying for everybody. Not saying it's necessary by any means, but I do think that's part of what makes Marvel special. Is that they have been paying off those things, and the directors like using those things.
Indeed.
So I really don't know I think Namor could be. I think it might be
I think he
cool.
will be.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
think if
I'm so in a rut. I think that I don't see what else they have to do. You know?
yeah, indeed. I think Kevin Feige is smart enough to do it right now because people have been wanting it for years. People, even before there were talks of like a Black Panther movie, there were already people saying like we want Namor versus Black Panther to happen
Right.
in the MCU. So this will be the time that my boy finally gets his big splash into the MCU.
Yeah. And Mr. Otter said, my thing is just that it was never seemed to be specific enough to be referenced, to be a reference or an Easter egg. But I think that's part of it is that like some of those things are like just something
Like
for the dialogue.
the earthquake under the ocean Easter egg he's talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And I think like
Yeah, but you know, you could if someone like Black Widow said like there was an earthquake under the ocean, then that wouldn't have been a Namor Easter egg per
right.
se, but it was just because Okoye, someone from Wakanda, was talking about it, so that
Right.
makes it
And the thing
a
is like it's the
Easter
same
egg.
point where it's like there's been 2 references in the MCU to the Atlantic Ocean. So it's like
Actually three.
what's the third?
Yeah, so there was in
Iron
Iron
Man
Man
2.
2 there was
Yep.
also a Easter egg of you had this like where Iron Man flew by these billboards and one of them had Oracle on it, and Oracle is like the Namor's how do you have Stark Industries is from Iron Man, and then Namor has Oracle in the comics, and Oracle was a billboard on, but it was like on screen like for 1 second.
I'd have to see it. The only hesitation I have with that Easter egg is that he actually meets with the CEO of Oracle, I think, in one of the movies. Like the company Oracle, meaning like the and I think that's like the real world Oracle, not the like but I don't know. That could be an Easter egg. Okay, so I don't really have anything else for Black Panther. I think I would like to
No,
see
me
Namor.
neither.
But I'm okay
Yeah,
if they're waiting to pay it off in the end of a trilogy. I'm fine with that. But I just don't know what else they would do, and that's probably just because I haven't spent enough time thinking
yeah.
about it. So what's the next one?